So today we're going to test out the Atlas products. We've got an Atlas Titan G1. It has a steel Phoenix Trinity grip on it. This is a very heavy gun. It's heavier than the other two because of the steel grip. 5-inch barrel, iron sights only. Really nice gun. My first Atlas that I ever bought, and still one of my favorites. Then we have the Erebus. I won't be running the optic for this particular exercise. I'm going to be doing recoil. This and this Nemesis are brand new guns, so they need break-in. So I'm not going to worry about groups or anything like that just yet. But wanted to compare this to this Nemesis RDS. Now it does have the iron sight plate versus the red dot, but this is one of the 15 guns they produced in 9mm, which is the Nemesis with the red dot. So these two guns, the Erebus and the Nemesis, are more similar than I thought. I thought that the Nemesis weighed about 6 ounces more. When I got them on the scale, they both weigh about 40 ounces, no magazine included. So I was expecting this to be a heavier gun. Obviously, if it was in 40 and had the steel grip, it would be, but same thing with any of their guns, the 40 would be with the steel grip. So I am curious, though. I did a little bit of research. The barrel with the weight weighs about an ounce more than the barrel with the comp. So while they're about the same length overall, it is a little bit different setup, and it weighs about two ounces more than the barrel in the Titan, and the slide is milled back a little bit compared to the Titan. So I suspect the Nemesis will outperform the Titan. Heavier barrel, more weight at the end. So the Nemesis has about 2 ounces at the very end of the barrel. That's going to give it a little bit of performance, along with the lightened slide, because it is cut back. You can see where it would be cut back about 400 thousandths or 0.4 inches. But it does have the aluminum grip versus steel grip, and this guy weighs probably 8 ounces more, something like that, maybe 8 or 9 ounces more with that steel grip. So curious to see how they perform. We'll run the Mantis on it here in a bit. So I'm going to shoot at paper. Obviously the Titan should be pretty well sighted for 7 yards there. I'm also going to shoot the Nemesis. I will definitely shoot the Erebus just to get the recording. And then you can see my steel plate is down there at the 25-yard line. I'm going to move over to this bay to shoot that. But I'll get video of shooting at steel. For this paper, I'm going to record with the Mantis. So just shot the group with the Nemesis, the Titan, and oddly enough the Erebus. And in general, I felt a little better shooting the Nemesis. I felt like the shots were a little bit quicker. Accuracy wise, I mean, obviously I just sighted it, so it seemed to be a little bit closer to target. Not a lot of things in target. A little disappointed by that. At 7 yards, I should be a little better, but the Titan did pretty well. It put a few here. There's actually probably, four rounds there, but it was definitely printing left quite a bit. But, you know, again, in general, I'd say the Nemesis shot a little bit closer to target. Like I said, I felt like I was on target faster with that. With the Titan, it felt like it took a little bit more time to reset. All right, we're going to do one more round. I'm going to start with the Nemesis, Titan, and then go to the Erebus with no sight system. Fairly quickly. Same thing here with Titan. Last but not least, we have the fastest gun. Say that, but many do not. But let's see it. All right, so I don't feel like I did a good group with the with the Nemesis. So I set up some new targets over here. I'm going to shoot out a base 7 as it would be out here at Hillside Rifle Range. As you can see, after taking a little bit of break, well, maybe you can't see it yet, but you'll be able to. After taking a bit of a break, you can see that I was stringing that. And again, it prints low, so I was kind of aiming up here. Sorry. It prints low, so I was kind of aiming up here, but again, I was kind of walking the gun around a little bit. That's me more rested. This is me, you know, after I've shot a bunch and I'm a little more tired, etc. And so you can kind of see it's not the gun, it's my accuracy of holding on target more than anything else. This group fell apart because I was tired. This group strung because, again, I couldn't hold right through the center like I wanted to because it prints low, and I was actually trying to print on target here, so it ended up stringing. So, you know, for whatever that's worth. So again, what I was saying earlier in the video is the Nemesis sight block weight, whatever you want to call it, plus the barrel weighs in at 7.9 ounces. The Erebus, with what appears to be a longer, heavier sight block or comp, right, actually weighs in at like 7.1, and so that's a little bit lighter. Even though if you look at them, they're almost the same length. There we can do a little bit more comparison there, but you can see this is a 4.6 inch barrel, and so the barrel itself is actually shorter. It's not just threaded or anything, it's physically shorter. And then you've got more weight on the very end. May allow, you can see the taper and stuff's a little bit different, maybe a little hard with that lighting, but you see that the tapering and stuff's a little bit different maybe, so this may put a little bit more weight on this end. So yeah, so you know, ultimately the Nemesis barrel is a bit heavier, a little bit longer. Same thing when we get into the slide weight. The Erebus being a 4.6 with that, you know, long comp on it, it weighs in at 10.5 ounces, which is pretty light overall from the other 1911s I've had. And then the Nemesis is at 11.6, so a little bit heavier slide, so more reciprocating mass. So, you know, wasn't exactly sure what I thought would make up the difference on the Nemesis, but we'll see what the results are. All right, so one last thing to do here is kind of weigh these guys in. The Erebus is acclaimed, I think, 39 ounces or something like that, and I believe, have the brass inserts on this one, full on the other side than the step on this, so those are about an extra 2 ounces. And it does indeed come in roughly 41 ounces, just under 41 ounces. The Nemesis, I actually have a ticket open because it's supposed to weigh, even the new Alpha grip, aluminum Alpha grip in 9mm, is supposed to be like 46 ounces. And you can see it actually comes in just slightly less at, you know, about, you know, 40 and a half as well, but it's just slightly less than the Erebus, and it's supposed to be a slightly heavier gun. And so that's been something of a puzzle for me. It is, you know, the 5-inch. It's not the they made a Nemesis GT5 or GTS or something like that, that is a 4.6 inch, so it's actually a shorter gun than the full-size Nemesis. It's basically the Artemis, just with Nemesis styling. This is the full Nemesis RDS, like I said, 1 out of 15, so I'm not sure if they didn't update when they changed from the steel grip to the aluminum grip or something like that for the 9mm. And then I have the original Titan here, and again, it's a big boy. It weighs in at about 48 ounces with that steel grip. Really like this old finish, the you know, more brushed finish. on the slide and everything. It's bottom line is that it does weigh more. It also has the big mag well versus these smaller tactical mag wells. So the moment everybody's waiting for is, what does the Mantis say about muzzle rise, aka recoil? And it shows that the Erebus is at 5.59 degrees. That is the lowest of this grouping, followed by the Nemesis at 6.97. I had suspected it would be in the low sixes. I was a little surprised to see it that high. Maybe with grip panels or something, maybe it get a little lower, but it's probably in that high 6 range. And then even with the heavy grip module, the Titan was at 7.39. I've shot the Titan as high as like in the 9 degree range. Just depends on the grip that day, the ammo you're shooting, that type of stuff. But overall, the Nemesis was slightly better than the Titan. And then, of course, the Erebus with the comp still proves to be the winner. Again, you know, comp guns win. You know, even with factory ammo, the comp guns just have less recoil. The comp keeps the nose of the gun down. So one of the things that I did not discuss is that, didn't even know until I actually got the Nemesis in, was that the Titan and the Nemesis are very similar guns. This is kind of a tricked out Titan, and I say that, and it makes a lot of sense. It also, you know, may be questionable on the premium they charge for it, but if you look, the slides are basically the same slides. Now this is a V2 and this is a V1, so there are a couple of differences in the slide, but basically the same slide serrations and cuts, lightning, etc. is all done. And then they just cut the slide back, you know, 400 thousandths. 0.4 inches to make room for the comp. And then obviously 5-inch barrel, they thread, you know, they add the threaded barrel and then thread the comp on. And then they do this butler cut, which they do only have 4 of the notch outs on the rail, but basically the same frame. And then they do the butler cut, that angled cut on it right there. And obviously this is, again, the V2 with the alpha grip, and this is the older with the PT grip. There's a lot of differences there. You can see the smoothness right here specifically in the frame. Those new frames don't have that you know, notch in them, and so that's a lot smoother, etc. But yeah, not as much difference between the two guns as I would have initially expected. Like, I thought they were totally different guns. Reality is, the Nemesis is basically just a Titan with a sight block, or, you know, whatever you want to call it, with the butler cut on it. This particular model has the, you know, the optic, the RDS optic plate. But if you were to look at the normal model, it actually even has this little notch cut out as well. Again, the RDS is a little bit different, but, you know, really very similar guns when you get down to it. So I've had a little bit of time to reflect on these guns since shooting them the other day, and again, I bought the Erebus directly after I bought the Titan, and it's you know, probably for range toy is the best option. For open division, it's going to be the best option. It works extremely well with factory ammo. I know that's a big concern with people looking at, you know, should I go with an Artemis or should I go with the Erebus, etc. The Erebus has proven itself. You know, the Artemis is a slightly smaller version of the Nemesis, so it's not going to perform as well as this big Nemesis that I've got here. And so I'll tell you flat out that the Erebus is certainly the answer for you if you're thinking between the two. Unless you don't like the look of it. Some people don't like the snub nose on it, or the little snout that you know, sticks out. We used to call it a dolphin because of it. But other than that, performance-wise and shooting it, it's phenomenal. And, you know, the Titan's a great gun. I still love my Titan. They make them RDS now, or red dot ready. So that also is a big improvement. They used to only make the iron sight version. It cost a bit more than it used to. But, you know, I personally liked the Titan better than my Athena when I had the Athena. That's why I sold the Athena. And I was actually going to pick up a red dot Titan when my buddy offered me this Nemesis. And so I picked up the Nemesis instead of a red dot Titan. And again, no complaints there because it does, perform better. Certainly it's going to perform better than the lighter aluminum grip of a V2 Titan because it outperforms the steel grip. And so putting that weight at the end of the barrel where it has more leverage to do what it needs to do does, perform. And so I like the Nemesis. Obviously, it's a generally an iron sight only gun. So if you're buying that, you're probably buying it to compete in a specific division. And again, I personally, like the Titan. And so if I was in the market today between a Titan and an Athena, I would probably pick up the Titan. And if I was in, a higher price bracket and didn't have any division limitations, I would certainly pick up an Erebus for a range toy. So I think all these guns still have kind of a fit and purpose. They're not, hugely different, but at the same time, they're different enough. Thanks for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it, and look forward to doing a few more reviews in the future.